With all the information that we are starting to get about Boruto's time skip and all the abilities he acquired, it seems like Kishimoto is giving us a clearer picture of what exactly occurred in Boruto's time skip. From the abilities he learned, the swordsmanship he developed, and the personal difficulties he endured, Boruto's time skip is becoming more clear, and I will be breaking down everything we know at the moment. So starting off with the most recent information that we get that had a lot of people going crazy and started a lot of different conversations in the fandom. And this has to do with Boruto's Flying Raijin and the information that the Boruto database has given us regarding this ability and how exactly Boruto learned it. In this excerpt from the Boruto database, we get that information and the possible limitations that Boruto may have regarding his Flying Raijin. This is what it has to say. Flying Raijin, a teleportation ninjutsu that Boruto's grandfather, the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze, was known for. Users can teleport to a specific point that has been previously marked. Boruto's Flying Raijin Jutsu. And here we can already see that there is some sort of a distinction from the normal Flying Raijin Jutsu and Boruto's Flying Raijin Jutsu. This is what it says regarding Boruto's Flying Raijin, saying, with the help of Kashin Koji, Boruto developed his own variant of the technique, which could technically be considered an entirely separate jutsu. Compared to Minato's Flying Raijin Jutsu, it has more limitations. So this information that we get is first of all very interesting in the sense of how exactly it is linking to everything that we know regarding Boruto's character. A very interesting part about Boruto's character that maybe some people are starting to forget is the aspect of Boruto's character that has to deal with him being a genius, being somebody who is so smart that he will find the shortcut in him being able to create various ninjutsu or him being able to solve various problems. We know that Boruto is a genius, case in point in the tuning exams where he didn't even have to cheat. He literally was able to do all these complex information that we saw. Characters like Sasuke, who are regarded as genius, Gaara, all these different prodigies, they had to find a method of cheating. But Boruto was like, yo, this is pretty easy. Let me just do my thing, answer the questions by myself. I don't even need to cheat. We are getting this aspect of Boruto being a genius constantly shown to us. However, when you are this sort of a genius, you don't really learn the key habits that are necessary for you to perform well. An example could be with studying. Those who are genius don't need to study. So when they are put at a situation where they now have to study, you will see that geniuses tend to perform a lot worse than others. This is something that is observed even in our human life, and there's countless of studies that go and prove what I am saying. And we kind of see Boruto have the same issue, and we have seen this in the past, where just like we're seeing with the Flying Raijin, we have a Boruto who created his own variant of the jutsu. It is literally quite similar to what we saw Boruto do in the first part of Boruto, when it came to him learning how to use the Rasengan. When Boruto was going through the steps of learning how to get the Rasengan so he could become Sasuke's master, he was in a rush, and thus him being a genius, he found ways to shortcut things, and he ended up creating a new type of Rasengan. The Rasengan was kind of small, but it had that element of the lightning style ability that he already had, and it caused him to develop a new Rasengan that was known as the Vanishing Rasengan. This is something that Boruto did by accident, through him using his genius abilities and trying to find different shortcuts to lessen the time. Because he really wanted Sasuke to become his master, we have a Boruto who has developed a new form of Rasengan, and this could actually end up being the case with Boruto and Kashin Koji. I'm not going to say that Kashin Koji told Boruto, if you want me to be your master, you have to learn the Flying Raijin Jutsu. I'm not going to say that. However, what I will say is that maybe due to the lack of time and maybe due to the dire circumstances, Boruto, with his genius levels of IQ, found some shortcuts that allowed him to learn the Flying Raijin Jutsu quite earlier, but caused him to develop some limitations. And we see those similar limitations that are talked about when Boruto used shortcuts to develop developed the Vanishing Rasengan, Boruto's Vanishing Rasengan. Although it was cool, it was quite small. And when he later went to go develop all sorts of different Rasengans through the help of Kakashi, he had to relearn the basics and make sure all of his foundation was good. This is the same thing that Sasuke told Boruto before getting turned into a tree. I have given you all the fundamentals. What you have to do is now make sure your foundation is good. We have a Boruto who had shortcuts and developed the Vanishing Rasengan, but it had some limitations due to its size. And now we have Boruto who developed his own variation of the Flying Raijin Jutsu, which is now known as Boruto's Flying Raijin Jutsu. Now he can use it, however, it has more limitations. I'm not 100% sure what are those limitations, but one appears that it takes Boruto a little bit more time to use the Flying Raijin Jutsu when it comes to different locations. Maybe that's one of the cases. However, the main reason I believe that we see Boruto use the Flying Raijin Jutsu, and it is said that his Flying Raijin Jutsu is quite different from the ones that we have seen before, which is why it is called his own variant of the technique, is because Boruto is able to use the Flying Raijin Jutsu to go to different dimensions, and we never saw Minato be able to do so. And I think that's one of the aspects where we say that Boruto has his own variant of the technique. And if you also go back to that chapter, which was chapter 4, you would see that Boruto, after using the Flying Raijin Jutsu, we had a Kawaki who believed it was space-time ninjutsu, which further solidifies the case that Boruto may have inadvertently caused the Flying Raijin Jutsu to become a space-time ninjutsu that he can use, just for him not to have to use the karma. This is the main way I believe Boruto created his own variant of the technique. However, when it comes to limitations, the only thing I can really think about is the fact that we really haven't seen Boruto place markers on people like Minato would do all of the time, and it seems that it takes Boruto a little bit more time for him to be able to use it when it comes to him teleporting to locations that are quite far away. It seems like he has to sense those locations or be able to sense the chakra or whatever marker before he is actually able to use the Flying Raijin Jutsu. However, those limitations are not limitations that are stated, so it is not confirmed that my line of thinking is correct. However, with this piece of information, we know that Boruto's alliance with Kashin Koji is a lot stronger than just a simple alliance to destroy the Shinshu or to destroy various threats that could destroy the planet. It is one of a master and student type of relationship, and it also disproves the fact that Sasuke used some reanimation jutsu to get Minato to train with Boruto. We know that that really wasn't going to happen. We had some fun animations here and there. However, we all know that that was never going to happen. It was a funny theory. However, we are finally disproving those theories with this line of information that we are getting. So it means that after Sasuke and Boruto left the village, Sasuke trained with Boruto for at least 1 year, which is what we were given, and then Boruto mastered all of his jutsus, and Sasuke literally told him, I have nothing more to give you. All you have to do is now fix the foundation and you will be good and nobody will be able to stop you. Sasuke later ends up getting turned into a tree, and through some miraculous events, we have a Boruto who now then trained with Kashin Koji. We don't know exactly how they met, and we'll probably learn about this in the future, but slowly and slowly, this timeline and the gaps in time are slowly being filled by various characters. But going back a bit on the abilities that Boruto has learned, we have to talk about Boruto's sword skills, his swordsmanship, because we also get some information about that in the database that is given. Just alongside the Flying Raijin, we are given information on Boruto's sword style, and we have been given information here and there about it, but with all the information we now have, we can form more of a coherent explanation of what exactly Boruto's sword style truly is. It is described as Uchiha style, which is a sword technique developed and honed by Sasuke. He utilizes moves similar to Japanese Ai. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it is where the enemy is slashed in the same movement that draws the sword from its sheath. He can also use lightning style chakra to coat the blade and increase its sharpness. This is quite interesting, and I was going to stop there, but I'm also going to bring us back to some information that we got in the past regarding Boruto's Uchiha style. As part of the database that was released when it comes to the promotional magazines, we have Uchiha style Kenjutsu saying a unique style of swordsmanship steadily honed by Sasuke, specializing in quick draw attacks that slice through multiple enemies at once, as well as imbuing the blade with chakra to enhance its cutting power. This is what we are given regarding Boruto's sword style. This is the Uchiha style, a style that focuses on quick attacks that has to do with you literally taking your blade out of the sheath and it directly hurting an opponent. We literally saw that in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 2, where we had a Boruto who literally took out his sword and we saw him put it back with all of the claw grimes dead around him. He was able to hit multiple enemies at once. Most sword styles require you to only hit one person with one slice. Each slice is maybe for a different person, but with Boruto's swordsmanship, he is able to hit multiple opponents at once, and it mainly focuses on speed. This is what we are literally seeing in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 2. But we also have information that he imbues his chakra with lightning. I don't know if they're just referring to purple lightning, as we literally saw him do in Chapter 6 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, and in Chapter 7 when he was fighting versus Mitsuki, he used it both times, similarly to how Sasuke used to use it back in the days. We literally saw Sasuke multiple times use purple lightning and imbue it with his sword. This is the same thing that we literally see Boruto do in the time skip. So when they're referring to lightning, I'm not 100% sure that they are referring to purple lightning, or they would have clearly stated it. So it also means that on top of the fact that Boruto can imbue it with purple lightning, Boruto, when he is simply using his sword, is already imbuing it with lightning chakra, which is why this style really talks about speed and you being able to hit opponents quickly, being able to hit multiple opponents with one slice. These are the main pros of this sword style that we are seeing that Sasuke was able to develop, and the reason why we can clearly see the help that Sasuke has put when it comes to Boruto being able to develop this style is because at times it seems like Boruto is using the same one-handed style that Sasuke has been using all throughout Boruto due to him losing his arm. We can see this at times all throughout the fights that Boruto has, him only relying on one hand and him barely using two hands at times. Only when he coated it with purple lightning is when we really saw Boruto put both hands on his sword. This is quite interesting, and I really like that we are given this piece of information, because if you pay attention to the wording that is given, we are literally told that Boruto uses his chakra to amp his sword, which means that a swordman in Boruto is directly linked to his chakra. So the effectiveness of your sword is linked to your power / AP. So when we see different characters stab each other with the sword, we're not going to say that, oh, this character is swords level. No, that doesn't make sense. Your sword reflects your power / AP. But this is quite interesting because now, as I've said, the timeline between Sasuke and Kashinkoji makes a lot of sense. We go back to the timeline, we see that Sasuke trained Boruto for a period of time, developed all these different swords techniques, maybe helped him develop these other types of lightning style abilities. We see the purple lightning that Boruto already had back in the days, let's not forget that. But then Sasuke got turned into a tree. And now, for some miraculous reason, he ended up training with Kashinkoji. We don't know what led to them meeting up, but we'll definitely learn it in the future. But with these abilities, it seems like the main point of Boruto learning everything that we see right now is for him not to have to rely on the karma, which means that we have to go back to the timeline and reserve a specific spot that has to do with Boruto not wanting to use the karma anymore. Because we see in the time skip, we literally see it right now. Boruto has the karma, let me run away. I can't even fight. I can't even go help out my sister. Boruto, in the past though, he was using the karma to fight versus Code. He was using the karma to fight versus Kawaki. He was using the karma all the time. What made it so that Boruto doesn't do it anymore? This is where I personally believe that during the training arc that Boruto and Sasuke were having, just like what happened with Jiraiya and Naruto, where the Nine Tails came out and almost killed Jiraiya and gave him this massive scar that was worse than any scar he had in the past, Boruto could have used the karma and potentially led to somebody getting hurt. I don't know if it's necessarily Sasuke or maybe some random people that they met, and Boruto now decided that, okay, bet I am not going to use the karma anymore, because Boruto used the karma against Code during the Code arc when they fought. However, when Boruto was fighting with Sasuke against Code, it didn't seem like Boruto was going to use the karma. He literally had no karma active. Why is that? Especially if he's fighting Code. he was afraid to use the karma, because if he used the karma, Sasuke would not be turned into a tree. He would be dead, and there would possibly be an alliance between Momoshiki and Code, as we literally saw take place in the Code arc. This is why I believe that somewhere in the timeline, we have to reserve a spot that led to Boruto not wanting to use the karma ever again. And we literally see this clear intention of Boruto not needing the karma with his training and the abilities that we see him acquire through Kashinkoji. Boruto must have hurt somebody, so now he doesn't use the karma. However, one of the main benefits of the karma was that he had space-time ninjutsu. So with his genius mind and all the shortcuts he must have taken due to him simply being a genius, he learned a flying Raijin technique and created his own variant of that technique that caused him not only to not be reliant on the karma, but also to use space-time ninjutsu to go to various different locations that Minato probably could not do. But the real question to ask is, how does Kashinkoji know how to use the Flying Raijin Jutsu? This is kind of interesting in my point of view, because we never saw Jiraiya use it in the past. To me, there are two potential options. One, the first option is that when Kashinkoji came to Konoha and we saw in the anime that he stole something that even Kakashi didn't really know what was about, maybe that was the scroll or the information about the Flying Raijin. That's the first potential option. The second option that we have to discuss is maybe, just like the Rasengan, we know that the person who created the Rasengan was Minato, however, Jiraiya still learned that ability. So maybe it is the same with that, where Minato created the Flying Raijin, and then Jiraiya also decided to learn the Flying Raijin even though we never saw him use it. And this would make a lot of sense and would connect to the theme of chakra that I have brought up countless of times throughout my past videos. There is a property of chakra that connects with memory. We literally saw that with Naruto. Naruto was giving his chakra to everybody, all the soldiers that were fighting with him, everybody in the alliance against Madara and Obito in the 4th Great Ninja War. And when people got that chakra, they were able to see Naruto's past memories, Naruto swinging on the sword, that infamous panel that we always get all of the time. Every flashback, we get that. They were also able to see those things. So maybe it is the case that even though we have a Kashinkoji that is a clone of Jiraiya, if the chakra is the same because of the properties of chakra and how it connects with memory, Kashinkoji may have the memory or the knowledge about the Flying Raijin. I'm not going to say that he remembers everything about Jiraiya's past life. Maybe he got that information from Orochimaru, I don't know, but there is a point to be made that chakra is connected with memory. Therefore, since Kashinkoji is a clone of Jiraiya and thus they have the same chakra, which is why he was able to come to the village without being detected, he might have memories about the Flying Raijin Jutsu, or at least what it is, in order for him to teach Boruto about it, as we literally have the information that he is the one who taught Boruto how to use the Flying Raijin Jutsu. However, we are given information through the database and we are literally told each time who taught Boruto how to do this. With his sword style, we are literally told that Sasuke is the one who helped him develop this. With the Flying Raijin Jutsu, we are literally told that Kashinkoji is the one who taught Boruto how to do this. However, with the Rasengan Uzuhiko, nobody tells us about who really taught him how to use that ability. And I don't think that's by mistake. I think that the reason why they didn't tell us is because it would be a spoiler of a potential Otsutsuki that trained Boruto about how to use planetary chakra, or the chakra that is exerted from celestial bodies. And that's why you have to watch this video right here, as I explain exactly who this Otsutsuki is and just how strong Rasengan Uzuhiko truly is.